Everything old is new again. America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
What do you know about them?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
There we go. Welcome to Everything Old is New again. It's nice to be back. This is Douglas Viviani with the ever timeless David Cohen.
Great to be here, Doug.
All right, we've had two shows of some interesting topics, interesting retrospectives. It looked like there was some time travel going on here. And I was just thinking that based on those last two shows and what have you, it would be interesting to go back in time and think, what would somebody like, we did a show about a bunch of these guys. How about Sherlock Holmes? What would a guy like Sherlock Holmes think of Everything Old is New again?
Like if he found a recording of all the shows,
right?
What would he make of it?
If he heard some clips here and there, would he be able to piece together either something about our culture? Would he be able to piece together something about us? Would he be able to piece together something about the show itself? It's actually before radio. Think about it. So he'd have to really have a interesting perspective on that. Should we try that today?
Let's try it. Like, so he found what, like an iPhone or something?
He finds an iPhone, my iPhone, and on it are all of, is the website. It's on the website, is right there. Everything Old is New again.biz. You can go back and listen to all the podcasts of our previously broadcast shows for the last 2 years.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So he's going to go in and clip and see a little bit about it. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what his take is on it.
All right,
sure.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up, we're going to imagine through the power of radio, he just found, we're going to jump to the gun here, so to speak, jump to the meat of it, and he's playing the first clip, which is from our Victorian Avengers show. So the next voice you'll hear will be that clip, and then the reaction.
After that, the reaction
of Sherlock Holmes and Dr.
Watson.
All right, so your team then is Sherlock Holmes, Tarzan, Hercules has got a lot of power. What was the other one? Who else? Count of Monte Cristo and Invisible Man. Sherlock Holmes is going to lead that team up and storm solve any mystery, and the Count of Monte Cristo is sort of
they're going to be. I think that Sherlock Holmes is going to be good in terms of figuring out where these guys are and what they're up to. I think the Count of Monte Cristo I'm putting in there as my spy. And then, obviously, once we start swarming, we got Hercules, we have all the animals, we've got...
Invisible Man to go in there, too.
Invisible Man also can go and spy on some of them. So,
all right, that's pretty good. All right, I like that. I got the Lone Ranger, I got Flash Gordon, Jekyll and Hyde, the Shadow, and Achilles. The Shadow can do my investigation. You got the Lone Ranger and even Flash Gordon. They'll work well together on solve problems. Achilles and Jekyll and Hyde, there's my Hulk right there. I got some power there with those two. So, they might be able to battle the present-day Avengers, I would think.
Holmes, this is quite fascinating. Have you listened to this?
Well,
Watson, I mean.
Watson, yes, because you're...
Sorry, I'm so discombobulated, but by what I just heard.
It's amazing they were talking about you. I don't know how that happened.
And first of all, let's deduce one thing. This is strictly an American, recording of some sort. I did not hear English accents at all, so I'm assuming it's from America. Number two, they highly regard yours truly as sort of a best of the smartest people in the world.
So they're an intelligent bunch themselves, of course.
I would deduce that, Watson, yes.
They don't mention me, but okay, I understand. I was lost.
Well, I think but Watson, as usual, I think your name is implied.
I'm the voice of the common man, yes.
Even though you keep talking over me, I'm trying to compliment you, Watson, as usual.
There's a time limit, of course, for everything. Let's take a look. One more. Let's take a look at the team. Is Phil Hartman, or you've got Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Tina Fey, Seth Meyer, Dana Carvey, and Kristen Wiig. I'm going with Daryl Hammond.
Good. Yeah.
I then have Joe Piscopo.
That's a musical.
All right. John Belushi, Will Farrell.
As the most versatile.
Right. Yep. Dennis Miller doing the news.
Good choice.
Dan Aykroyd with the impressions.
Yep.
And I've got Mike Myers. So I think either of those casts, but those are all-star casts.
Yes.
Holmes, I don't know what you make of this.
Well, Watson, I And that one I did not recognize any names whatsoever. I seemed to deduce that it had something to do with humor. So perhaps they were naming the most humorous people at that time.
Seems to be the second list that they've done.
Correct, Watson, as usual. You're right, spot on.
That's another one here. Let's see what this is all about.
Oh, there is another one. Yes,
there's plenty.
All right, so let's review your lineup now.
I got McCartney
on bass. You have Paul McCartney.
Correct. Piano, Billy Joel.
Rick
Nielsen is going to be my lead singer. I got Gary Rossington.
Lead
guitar. Gary Rossington is the rhythm and / he can also play lead. I've got Mick Fleetwood on the drums and Stevie Nicks.
You've got more of a pop band than a rock band.
Listen, you kidding me? That is a band of bands. You kidding? The variety in that band, the creativity, holy smokes, that's going to be a band that anyone and everyone on the planet will want to see the next album that comes out. You've got Jimmy Page, right?
Yep.
Eddie Van Halen, Robert Plant, Charlie Watson, Sting. Not bad. That's going to be that. You're not going to
I think my band's better.
Well, here's something I can deduce. First of all, the outspoken one is a bit boorish and a know-it-all. However, they seem to be speaking mostly about music. So, Watson, what I can deduce here is that these gentlemen seem to have...
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
This is Colin Spall from Doctor Who, and you are listening to Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Oh, Watson, that's the first English voice I've heard so far. That seems to indicate to me that perhaps these two buffoons were actually heard overseas here in the United Kingdom.
It makes total sense there. It seems to be sort of a rogues gallery of guests they aim to have on this show.
Thus far, I agree with you, yes.
That's not supposed to be a compliment, rogues gallery.
No, not at all, not at all.
There's somebody by the name of Max Casella. I'm looking at the phone here. Max Casella. Yeah?
Max Casella. Press it, see what happens.
Let's see.
The club makes some changes, but this isn't a vastly revised ball club. Basically, this club is intact from the 78 club.
Okay. Max Casella, any idea who that was?
I have no idea.
I think you played the gentleman, Dick Hauser.
Is that Dick Hauser?
You believe it or not? I know it's impossible.
Yeah, I was going to say, I knew it was like somebody from the Yankees.
Yeah, that wasn't fair at all, but Dick Hauser,
I would never know what the real Dick Hauser sounded like.
There you go. Now, when
I would never recognize that in a million years.
Honestly, if it was Billy Martin or somebody, I'm not going to say charismatic, but somebody, that you recognize.
Billy Martin, I would have recognized his voice. George Steinbrenner, I probably would have recognized his voice.
But you made him come alive in The Bronx is Burning with John Turturro in 2007.
You're way too kind.
Well, he was alive.
Well, you just heard the real Dick Hauser. Anything could have made him come alive.
So, Watson, now it seems that there are other people who consented to be on this program with them, meaning that actual people listened to what they had to say and were interested in participating.
That could be more of the mystery to me as to why anybody would consent to be on a show like this.
Right. Thus far, we really can't determine why they would indeed be listening at all.
Well, let's continue with the Rogues Gallery. There's a fellow by the name of Chris Silga. I don't know if that's an English name or an Irish name, something of that nature.
Let's find
Chris
out.
Silga.
Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm going to be your tour guide today.
Excuse me, where are the bathrooms?
The bathrooms...
I told you to go before we... Come on, man.
Should we go now or wait?
Sir, you're going to need to use the bathrooms prior to taking the tour. You will not have access to a bathroom during the NBC tour.
Can you wait? Just let me...
I'll wait for this character.
Sir, okay. You can make it really quick, sir. I really would appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. You continue doing your spiel. I'll tell him. You don't have to wait for this character to come back.
Okay, so welcome to NBC. I'll be your tour guide. My name is Chris.
Dave, do me a favor. If you see the machine, is there like a water or something? Could you carry me?
Yeah.
All right.
As I was saying, there's just a few rules to obey before we go on the tour. Please, there's no eating, drinking, smoking, or...
Dave! Forget the water!
All right!
No water!
All right!
Okay, I'm sorry.
Also, this is a working facility. We need you to please stay together as a group.
Dave, come on back! He wants us to come and stay together! Dave!
All right, but most of all, please enjoy yourselves and have a great time while you're here at NBC.
It seems to me, Watson, correct me if you believe I'm wrong, but they are attempting perhaps humor? Is that... that's all I can deduce at this point.
Either that or they really are these boobs that you present earlier in the show. They're very boobish.
Very boobish, and, well, perhaps it's a combination of boobish and
bourgeois.
Bourgeois, pathetic attempts at humor.
And they can't even say in the characters too very long.
No, they can't at all.
Yes,
all right.
Let's try
Anything
this.
else?
Another one about a circus, Barnum Bailey Circus. We are aware of that situation.
Circus.
We love the circuses.
Okay.
There's an author Wobeck talking about the circus here.
All right.
Oh, what do you do during the day on the train?
There's nothing to do. There was no internet. There was no cell phones. There was no TV on the train. There's no radio. So you played cards and you hung out and partied.
A lot of beer.
Yeah, just hanging out. It got very stinky and smelly on the train.
Were the animals in the train? Were they in the coach class with you, or?
Well, some of my car mates I would consider animals.
I'm at a loss, Watson. I believe that had something to do with the circus.
The great Sherlock Holmes is at a loss, and we're just halfway through this presentation. We have another 2 or 3 sections to go here yet.
Yes, this is quite a challenge.
And I hear say something here, a notation again. Once again, a notation for Sherlock Holmes. And, I guess I should play that.
Sure. Yes, please.
Press this button.
An ancestor of mine maintained that if you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
And so that's ancestor he's talking about, and he's half human. Fictionally speaking, quite possibly could have been Sherlock Holmes. And I'll tell you why. Listen to this.
Watson, how often have I said to you, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth? It applies now.
If you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Once you've ruled out the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be true.
Obviously a famous quote from Sherlock Holmes that Spock mentions in The Undiscovered Country, written by a self-professed expert or fan of Sherlock Holmes, Nicholas Meyer himself, who co-wrote that and directed that movie. And he says Mr. Spock's ancestor, basically, is Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
I just think that's very interesting.
Yes,
very
you've
cool.
successfully hammered that point home. Hammered and hammered and hammered.
One other point. Sherlock, the BBC series.
And he continues.
His star is Benedict Cumberbatch, who was Khan.
No!
Yes.
No!
Was Khan in Star Trek Into the Darkness.
Fascinating, Holmes. Fascinating, Watson. I mean, they're quoting me. So this obviously comes from the future.
Yes, I've heard you say that saying quite some times, many times. I've written it down in a number of the books. I'm a little tired of hearing it myself, to tell you the truth, but it seems to be something new to them.
So this device that you keep pushing seems to be some sort of...
With the Star Trek, but I'll tell you what, you're right on the cutting edge. You're right there.
We're close. We're close to a conclusion as to what all of this means.
There's something about peanuts. There's a peanut Star Trek reference. Peanut Star Trek.
Let's press that one and see what happens.
I'd like to have a peanut myself right now.
Yes.
They'll be showing later this evening.
There you go. So that's George Takei, of course, and he's boring the heck out of this Beaker, I think, is the character, right?
Yes. There's a Star Trek reference.
There you go, sir.
And hello? That was
Star
me,
Trek
baby.
reference came from none other than the...
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything old is new again, with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
The other day, as a matter of fact, it was around the 4th of July, a friend of mine said, "Can I go down and meet those guys?" And I said, who are you talking about? The guys that are on the air right now, because we were at a party, and I said, where do you think they're at? Well, they're down at the studio, aren't they? I said, no, they're in New York. This is a Sunday. They thought you were actually here, and that's the good part of the program, the show. I mean, you fit right in. It's just like talking to your neighbors, and that's what radio is all about. And you guys make it work.
I appreciate that.
So there's a reference to radio, reference to New York, which obviously is in America. Radio. It sounds like something that would be over the airwaves or something you can't see. Am I going in the right direction?
I would suggest that there are voices coming out of a box or something of that nature, like I have in my hands right now.
And apparently they were popular because people wanted to meet them.
Yes, and he said it works. It works. This is really a far cry from the entertainment we have in our world today on stage, and of course in the popular literature of our day. This passes for entertainment.
But for the life of me, I can't understand why anyone would want to listen to this and meet these gentlemen.
And maybe if we dig into a little more of a couple of these clips here and see something about Star Wars and Flash Gordon, something of the
perhaps
show number 93. It looks like Star Wars.
Destroy your Earth in my own way.
That's Ming the Merciless. He might as if he was breathing heavy, he would be Darth Vader. He's got his own planet that he controls that's moving towards Earth, that's going to destroy Earth in his own way.
So you're
that's
saying
the Death Star.
So Star Wars is ripping off Flash Gordon. Is that the argument you're making?
It's derivative.
Sounds like a direct ripoff. The Death Star? Come on.
Listen, I'm laying it out there. I'm not the judge and jury. I'm just telling you it has commonality, and the reason why it has commonality is because George Lucas is a smart dude. He saw these serials when he was a kid, and he said, you know what? I want to go with this. This stuff is enthralling. If people want it, it's like it builds on the imagination in such a way of good versus evil that I have to get on board here. I want some form of entertainment that everyone on the planet wants to watch. Who doesn't want to watch sword fights and an evil guy like Ming the Merciless where it's impossible to defeat him? But all of a sudden, this character, this Luke Skywalker or Flash Gordon comes along and defeats him with a little bit of common sense and some courage. Just saying. All right. You also...
you're on a roll. Keep going.
You also...
You know, they seem to have borrowed some of my theories. Their deduction skills seem to be a bit more advanced. Is that possible?
I have to agree with you. These gentlemen are a lot more advanced than I thought they were. There's quite some theory based upon some facts and some determinations and some seems to be some other tapes that they're playing of some other kind of entertainment and putting the pieces together.
And Walton, how do you interpret the phrase "just saying"? What do you think that means?
I think that means that they run to an exclamation point and they really mean what they're talking about. It's not just a joke. This is for real.
Okay.
This is their deduction. That's probably their elementary, as opposed to saying elementary.
Makes sense.
There's something about a Dr. Smith. I don't know what this is. I hope it's not an ancestor of mine at this point. Let's see what we have here.
Do something, you fool! Don't just stand there!
I am doing something. I'm proving the foundation of Star Wars rests with you ninny. I don't know what the fascination is, but guess who else had a fascination with Dr. Smith?
No one?
George Lucas. You cannot tell me that CP30 is not the same exact personality as Dr. Smith.
Though with you around, I never feel entirely secure. How dare you? Go switch off.
How dare you?
As for you, you jabbering Judas, henceforth our friendship is at an end.
Just you wait, you deplorable dummy.
Listen to that guy. Am I wrong? It's the same exact. He even says the same words almost.
Yeah, I never made that connection before.
There it is. So that being the case, Dr. Smith is the foundation, at least, of CP30, which is one of the foundations of Star Wars. Without same, there'd be no Star Wars as it exists to this day. Therefore, Dr. Smith is the father. Some of the gene pool came from Dr. Smith for Star Wars. I rest my case.
Oh, Holmes, it sounds just like you when you solve one of your mysteries.
It does, doesn't it?
It's quite interesting, quite fascinating. But there's something about this Star Wars, Star Trek, something else going on with the Star Wars lightsaber. I mean, what is it?
I think the lightsaber is for a dramatic purpose.
A phaser or a blaster can be deflected by a lightsaber and the power of the Force.
Oh, yeah. How many guys got the Force? Like 3?
Oh, there's a little rant and raving going on as well.
Yes, is there more? Keep going.
I would suggest to you that genius is there's a fine line of insanity and genius as far as my observation.
Well, I've
present company excluded, of course.
I've heard the insanity, not quite the genius.
Well, let's see if there's any genius here about UFOs.
Communication between
UFOs,
ground stations and satellites.
What?
Then why did the Russians hear it? It doesn't make any sense, this guy. What is he saying?
I didn't understand a word you just said.
That's because he's talking double talk. You got to look at these guys. This is not an emeritus like they had the last guy from we had on our last section of the show. This is some goof from the Texas A&M University. He's an astronomer. What is that? Some guy that makes the hamburgers, and at night he's got a little telescope. He looks outside. Who is this guy? If I'm not mistaken.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Good luck with the program. Please don't forget us. You're on the media ride on the way up. We'll like to go with you.
Yeah, we can do it. How about we do after quarry show? That would be cool.
Exactly. We'll have you guys can host the post-quarry show.
There we go. Put a good word in for us.
These gentlemen are getting offers from Michael Fuller and Graham Gordy, the apparently executive producer creators of this show, Cinemax Quarry. So they seem to have some sort of pull in this civilization.
More evidence of other people calling in to be on this program who had already achieved other fame.
And I'm hearing of the program's name is Everything Old is New Again, and Sherlock Holmes here with Dr. Watson. We're trying to figure out what's this all about here.
Why are you announcing who we are? Is there anyone around listening to us?
Well,
now?
we're starting to gather a crowd here at the having a brandy at the bar. You realize
By
that?
Jove, you're right.
Absolutely. It's sort of like sitting at the bar and arguing over the Disney princesses, which is the best one, of course. We'll get involved.
Not sure what you're referring to, but okay. Well, what else do you have there?
We got something, some kind of a barbecue guy with a fondue guy.
When you get a chance to talk, I would like you to tell me a little something about what kind of entertainment you think you would like to have at a barbecue. Something in the background, a little sound. Or maybe you could throw a horseshoe. Or maybe you do a little ping pong or something. You tell me. Or maybe...
Well,
maybe you could do a little chess. You tell me. I'd like to know exactly what would you like to do at a barbecue.
I think that.
I mean, would you like to go swimming?
The best thing.
I mean, if you went swimming, would you bring a towel? Then when you go to someone's house, you got to have a towel.
I'm not a big.
So you're not going to go swimming. Okay. Well, what about a hat? It's going to be hot. You're going to wear a hat.
Well,
Now, if you wear a hat, what about? What about? I need to know a little something about what do you do with your eyes? Are you wearing some sunglasses?
I have.
You got prescription sunglasses. You got to put the prescription on because you can't. You get a contacts. You can't go swimming with the contacts and sweat and everything else. Contacts cause a problem.
Also,
are you going to say something? I'm giving you all this airtime in the world. Come on, Fadu, go.
Seems to be quite an argument there, doesn't it?
Yeah, these two gentlemen, they don't seem to be getting along so very well, do they?
But they seem to be two different gentlemen now, aren't they?
Two different gentlemen.
Although they sound a lot like the first two gentlemen.
It might be the same individuals. Do you think they're the same individuals?
Remarkable, Watson. That's a brilliant deduction.
I think I might be off base on that if we listen to this discussion about some kind of a burger.
Burger?
Seems to be a Douglas Viviani. I'm looking at the notes here. David Cohen, barbecue and fondue guys. So all four of them in the same room at the same time. Let's see what you make of this kind of a situation.
All right.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, we're talking about the burger. Everything's all ancillary here. Can we get to talking about a burger yet?
I appreciate your use of the word ancillary, barbecue guy. That's a big step up for you.
Where'd you get that word from, barbecue guy? I mean, what do you think? All of a sudden, I can't study the dictionary every so often? What do you think? I went to college. I had 6 solid years of college. What are you talking about? I learned a word here and there. Listen.
How do you study a dictionary? Maybe you just start with letter A and... but it's working. You started with A because you got the ancillary.
I study the way I study. You study the way you study. I don't know what you're doing. All of a sudden, you don't even study the outlines for what I understand. I'm hearing every blog on the planet is talking about how you come in, you run prepared. I don't know. That's my point of view. Yeah. Barbecue guy, listen, you try to play well with others, please, at this point. What you're going to do is you're going to put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, but more importantly, a little soy in there. Okay?
I was hoping you mentioned soy. So you make a soy burger.
I don't know what you're talking about. To me, soy sauce is soy.
Out of soy?
No, soy sauce. You the Chinese sauce, the black sauce there.
That's disappointing.
All right. Here's a secret ingredient. You ready? Knock. Anybody there?
I'm ready.
Okay. What you want to do is you want to put some cheese, some Parmesan cheese in the mixture. You understand? Yeah, Parmesan cheese. Do you understand what that is? Have you heard of it?
No,
I guess that's a no.
No.
Parmesan is the Parmesan cheese. That's the way they say it in Italy, for anyone to understand. Parmesan cheese.
That is not the way they say it in Italy.
All right.
I don't think that's the way they say it anywhere other than here.
That's fine. Listen, guys, you're getting off the topic here. We're getting back to the burger, please. Yeah, I tell you, cheese is part of a burger, okay? Leave me alone there. Go get yourself... You're prepared for the next part of this show already, Viviani. Listen now, what I'm talking about is this.
Thank you for having me, by the way. Don't get mad at me.
I prefer the soy burger again.
I don't know what he's talking about.
A burger made out of soy.
But soy is a sauce. What do you mean soy? How do you make a burger out of a sauce? You can make a soup out of a sauce. How do you make a burger out of a sauce?
Out of a soybean. Soybean.
What do you mean? It's not salad. Is it salad like a beef?
It's a vegan take.
What is vegan? What does that mean, vegan?
Well, it's not meat.
Huh?
It's not meat.
Well, how do you have a burger with no meat?
Soy burger.
But soy is a liquid.
Burger?
Soy is a soy sauce you get from the Chinese food place, and you put on the food. What are you saying to me?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were talking about that kind of soy.
Watson, it's remarkable how people could listen to these boorish clods. It's unbelievable. And now it sounds like there are 4 of them. But for the life of me, Watson, I'm for the first time speechless.
Hey, listen, if they've achieved that, they've achieved something else. To see you speechless is worth the price of admission. I'll give you that much.
What is there anything remaining on this device?
A few more. This one's a little bit long. Talking about some kind of a game show. Here's Michael Strahan.
$100,000 pyramid, which a guy that gets work in this industry that I don't know how he does it. But he's getting work like crazy. Michael Strahan, the TV game show, is back. I mean, how does that guy get? Come on, please.
He's an affable guy. He's a friendly guy.
But he's a football player. There are so many broadcasters that are looking for work, that do this for a living, they went to school for, and so forth, and can't get a job. This guy's got billions of dollars. He's got to do 100 shows. I mean, I don't get it. Can you let somebody else have a chance, please? He's got no personality at all. He's absolutely a blank slate. He's nothing. He reads what's on the card, and it says the answer to the question. That's it.